My name is Stella Cochran, and I'm going to go through Module 8, known as the Relationship Test. And it has to do with correlation, regression, and scatter plots. So, what I've learned so far through my reading and through the videos this week is that each case in the group is measured on two variables to determine if the relationship or association exists between the two variables. So I'm the reading interventionist at my middle school. And the two variables I chose to see if there's a correlation between are in column A, Star Renaissance reading levels, and then column B are the seventh grade STAR reading scores. Now, Star Renaissance is a program we use to measure our students' reading levels. So, for example, right here, this would be grade 7, month 4. Okay, so they'll be reading on a seventh grade reading level, fourth month. And so we're trying to see if there's a correlation between the Star Renaissance and then the Star Reading end of the year test. So those are the two variables that I chose. So I chose those, and then I went ahead and I made a scatter plot. And I plotted all this data. I plotted the Star Ren and the Star Reading. And I went up here to insert, if I can get it to pop up. And then I went over and I created the scatter plot. Kind of go back. And I'm trying to interpret and analyze the scatter plot to see if there's a difference, to see if there is a correlation. And then one thing that I noticed this week is that the placement of the data on the scatter plot, for example, I wanted Star Ren to be in column A, so I knew it would be on the x-axis, and then I wanted my Star Reading scores to be in the column B, so it would be on the y-axis. And again, I'm trying to see, what does the Star Ren have to do with the end of the year test? Like with Star Ren, that's like a middle of the year, beginning of the year, and end of year test. And then that will help determine if it affected Star Reading. So again, I'm trying to see if there's a correlation between both. In looking at my scatter plot, there's not much of a correlation. There's really not a correlation at all between the Star Renaissance scores, and the Star Reading scores at the end of the year test. Let me see if I can get this correct here. So right here on this linear line right here, the regression line right here, all my dots are not on that line. And the more that our dots are close together or on this line, the highly correlated the data will be. So as you can tell right now, my data is all over the place. So there is not a correlation between the Star Reading and the Star Ren. So if you come over here, and then I went and I created the summary output, which are my regression statistics. And I did that by going through data and then going through data analysis. Okay, so let me just explain. So the multiple R right here tells you how strong the linear relationship is between the two variables. And again, the two variables are the Star Renaissance reading levels and then the Star Reading scores at end of the year test. There is not a correlation between 42% of the STAR scores that could be predicted by Star Ren. So they cannot, the Star Renaissance, the end of the year STAR scores cannot be predicted by Star Renaissance. And then up here with the R squared, the R squared value tells you how much variance of the dependent variable, which is Star Ren, can be attributed to the independent variable, which is end of the year STAR scores. The R squared value is less than 0.25, which means there is not a correlation between the two. And then the standard error is the average distance. The observed values fall from the regression line right here. This is my orange regression line. It says the larger the standard error, the precise the regression model is. Standard error is high because not any points are directly on this regression line. So if you look right here at the regression line in orange, like that one's kind of there, that one's kind of there, but none are directly on this line. I think this will be great to use with, data-driven instruction to see how the data is affecting our instruction and to see what difference it can make. I enjoyed seeing as a reading interventionist to see from the scores from last year to see if there was a correlation between the star RAN and the star reading. And so this really helped me give me a viewpoint on the data to see if there is a correlation. So thank you so much.